Hey everyone, it's Nekroz, and today I cogged playing Gemini, one of the Duel Links decks of all time. This deck is actually super fun. I enjoy playing it a lot. I think this deck list is overall pretty decent. There's maybe a couple of things you could change or improve about it. So let's go and talk about the deck. Key pieces for the deck: 3 gear freeds, absolutely crucial for the deck. This is by and large your best card. It's a big beater that has a monster negation, can steal a monster, which is how you win some matchups. For instance, against Liberalist, you can just steal that Assemble Nightingale. You can just, this doesn't target, you can just take it. Mandatory 3 of, there's a couple of ways in the deck to search it. But you want to be playing 3 anyway. Other very important card is Evocateur Évêque, a really strong guy that when it is Gemini summon, revives a guy from your graveyard, which can be, in fact, any fire warrior, including Gearfried, including Emperor Charles here, but it can also be another level 4 Gemini, which, you know, is also pretty good, because that means you get to have some fodder for your rank 4s, or for your synchros, if you are so lucky to open Infernable Knight Renard. A mandatory 3 of, in my opinion. Let's talk about Renard. Renard is really good. It is searchable through Heritage of the Chalice? What I call it, Chalice. I don't know if I should be playing more than one. I only have the one. So, I can only play the one. But if you have more than one, maybe play, if, I don't know, 2. 2 seems fine, or 2 of this card, which I do have 2. Why am I not playing 2? There's the Blazewing Butterfly, which is a really important card. In the one scenario, my webcam just glitched. I saw that. In the one scenario in which you open your Evex, right, and you have to Gemini Ablation, pitch the Evex to summon the Blazewing Butterfly. That's the one scenario in which you're playing it. It's a decent one of. Then we have the Gemini Ablation, also a 3 of. The deck does function with only 2. It is much less consistent with 1. 3 is like the best, because if you do open it, you can reveal it for the scale and search any Fire Warrior monster, including Gearfried. What more can you ask for? Gearfried is just the greatest card in this deck. Then we have the Evocateur Chevalier, probably the worst card in the main deck, but it is a monster that can come up sometimes. The webcam just keeps doing this. Why does it? That's so weird. Okay, I fixed it maybe. Was I saying worst guy in the deck? Still an okay card in some very corner cases scenarios. The one Gemini Lord Gold Knight, not mandatory. If you're choosing to not run this, you can cut a Gemini Spark. Definitely the Catalyst Field as well. Just a cool little card. Kind of Catalyst Field comes up sometimes, you know. It's a decent enough thing. Gives you an additional normal. It's cool. I like playing the one of Gemini Spark too. Like, the scale gives you 1 for free, but having an additional one is always kind of helpful. Then what else did that talk about? Roland, not as great as I thought it would be. There is a really cool turn 1 combo in which you get rid of your Roland to get the Immortal Phoenix Gearfried, which I think is a really sick play that guarantees follow-up. I don't know if it is worth it running Roland for this. And then we're also playing the one of Nekroz. Why we're playing Nekroz? It is because our Captain Roland can search it from deck. And that's pretty much the only reason why we're doing it. We search this and then we pitch it for Gemini Ablation. Really cool combo. Also, the Great Shogun Shien is there. Why is Great Shogun Shien there? Well, it is a monster that you can revive with Évêque or summon with the second effect of Gemini Ablation, and it locks your opponent out of using several back row this turn. And then for the extra, we are playing the infernobles of Captain Roland and Emperor Charles. So the play is you make Roland and you silver 4 and you go into Charles immediately, so then you can equip the Roland on your opponent's turn to the Charles to get a pop, which is kind of sick. This guy searches, like I said before, a follow-up Nekroz or maybe even an Infernable Knight Roland to equip to your Emperor Charles during your opponent's turn. And this guy can search and equip anything, so what you like to do during the end phase is equip a Durandal. I think it equips from End or Grave. Yeah, equip the Durandal from a graveyard, because you know that you have the Durandal. If you don't, you have the Phoenix Gearblade, it's fine. And then equip the Roland from deck, pop the Roland, and then Roland searches Gearfried for your next turn. Kind of a sick play. Then we have Ferocious Flame Swordsman, also important in the deck. Sometimes you want to crush this guy in order to revive a Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. That has happened to me a couple of times. I never went into Nightmare Phoenix, but in theory it's also pretty good. This guy is probably the best rank 4 in the deck. just gets rid of anything that Gearfried or Emperor Charles doesn't, which is really funny. Never went into Dweller as far as I can remember. Dempsey is there for like the worst hand scenarios where you really need a search. I'm never happy when I have to make Dempsey in this deck. If this was battling boxers, I'd be super happy, but I'm not happy making this guy in this deck. I don't think I ever went into Giant Hand, but it is like a decent card that's being used against me in the mirror. And for Magic Rainlands, I don't think I ever went into either. So that's the deck. Let us take a look at a couple of very funny replays from my cog run now. First, I have to start with the mandatory hero replay because people are still playing hero despite the ban list coming into effect in 2 weeks. Huh, what a coinky-dinky that people are rushing to play a deck that's going to be affected by the ban list. I should probably turn one light off for this. I kept them on during my cog run because I thought it would give me more time, and it kinda did. This end not so great, also we're going first against Hero, which is the worst thing in the world. So I'm going to have to reveal Evocator Evec, use Gemini Ablation, pitch Evec for Blazewing Butterfly, Blazewing Butterfly attribute itself to bring back the Evec, Evec is going to bring back the Blazewing Butterfly, and then I kinda don't really have anything else to do, so I have to go into King Dempsey, which, what a sucky card. It never feels good going to King Dempsey. I'm getting the Renaud, but I'm not even sure why. It's not like I can do anything with it. I can get Necroz now with King Dempsey. So I'm just going to get the Phoenix Gearblade, equip it to my Gearfried, detached in order so I have a thing in my graveyard, activate Gemini Catalyst for no reason whatsoever, and we're good. And that's it. But it's gonna Book of Eclipse. I'm just gonna detach for Dempsey, doesn't change anything. Why would you Book of Eclipse there? Why would you play Book of Eclipse in Heroes, is the question. They're gonna set Neos, which, okay, sure. They're gonna get a poly, and look at how they customize their super polymerization. You know, they really care about the state of the game. They're gonna get equal into Stratus, classic play, normal Stratus. They could have flipped their Neos in order to pop my Ablation, but they decided not to. Instead, they're going to go for the Liquid Soldier, fuse the Stratus on field and the Liquid Soldier into Sunrise, and they're going to get to draw a lot of cards because of Liquid Soldier and Crosskeeper in the graveyard and the Sunrise with Gestures. The Miracle Fusion for their follow-up. Wow, isn't this deck super cool? They're going to return one, they're going to pitch a Rainbow Dragon. I'm not sure why you would do that, because that locks you out of, you know, Rainbow Neos, unless you activate your skill, which you already did. They're going to Miracle Fusion for the second Sunrise, and they're going to flip Elemental Hero Neos. They're going to set 2, they're going to pretend to get to battle, so at the end of main, I'm going to activate my skill, my Gemini Ablation rather, pitching the Gearfried in order to get Evocator Evect. In retrospect, I should have gotten Roland, pitched the Roland for, well, still Evec, and I've been able to get a Gearfried as part of my next turn, so that was kind of a mistake. I messed up. Anyway, that's completely fine. Evec is going to summon the Gearfried, so I'm not dead this turn. I have enough bodies to protect myself. The Sunrise is going to pop the Gemini Ablation. That's kind of annoying, but we can deal with it. They're going to attack, and they're going to leave the Evocator Evec, which is a mistake because they did not, in fact, read the effect of Catalyst Field. So, Catalyst Field is going to try and banish my Evec in order to pop the back row, but it's compulsed, so they're going to give my Evec back. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? You gave me my card back, and I can summon it again twice. I don't know why you would do that. I'm going to normal Evec, and then I'm going to special the Infernoble Renard in order to get back a Gearfried from my deck to me hand, my graveyard rather to me hand, and then I'm going to be able to do this. My opponent's going to activate a Lord Life Barrier, which is funny. I would have thought that they would have set Super Polymerization here, right? I'm trying to play around Super Polymerization, but... Did you see the discard? Did you see that? Super Polymerization was the card that discarded for Lord Life Barrier. Super Polymerization. Maybe they're not playing Nova Master in their extra deck, right? Super Polymerization is the strongest card that your deck has access to just by clicking a yellow button. And you can't even do that right. This is why upsets me so much about this deck, right? I'm out here trying to manage my resources and navigate throughout my available tools in hand, you know, my opening plays depend on the end that I open, and I don't have a skill. My skill is pretty strong. Phoenix Rising is a really strong skill that maybe should get addressed once we take care of heroes and Salamangreat. But it doesn't fix my consistency 100% of the time, right? Like, meanwhile my opponents just click yellow button! I get all the cards that I need! I can't even play, I'm just clicking button at this stage, I can't even play properly! Why do I need to play properly? I get all the cards I need and more for every turn forever! I'm out here playing Yu-Gi-Oh, right? And my opponent is playing Duel Links. This is what pisses me off. Anyway, I'm gonna activate this. Wow, it really doesn't matter because it doesn't stop me from going into Captain Roland and then go into none other than Emperor Charles, which is based on a French king Charlemagne, which was never an emperor. Am I saying some stupid shit? Shit, I need to Google that. The summon Gearfried, you know, pop a thing, equip the sunrise. It's a really cool play. Charlemagne was never an emperor, right? No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, was he? Oh shit, he was! In the year 800. Oh, my opponent forgot to read Gearfried. And the Miracle Fusion. Oh look! They're playing Neos Kluger. Oh wow! Have you look at that? This is a really interesting addition to the deck that I decided to put. This card is not good in hero list, but hero players keep playing it, right? It's so annoying because this card is really annoying to take care of, and I have to do this in order to not take a shitload of damage for no reason. I pop their thing. They're going to summon a Neos Wiseman. They're going to put in defense because they don't actually want to die. And then I can just Gearfried Steel. You know, I can just Gearfried Steel, summon another Gearfried, first Gearfried Steals. And then I can still activate the Phoenix Gearblade effect, which is really cool. They really designed this card to work with Gearfried. And then bam! Direct attacking. So what have we learned during this duel? We've learned that Charlemagne was indeed Emperor of the Franks, which is something that I should know, right? I'm French. I've seen that in history class, but I don't know anything about French history. So that's humiliating, but not as humiliating as the loss suffered by this hero player, one of the many people who picked up this deck and never bothered to learn how to actually play the game. Now for a more interesting replay. This is against a Revolution des Fleurs deck. I forgot which variant that it was. I forgot. I completely forgot. I can't remember, I'm sorry. This is a okay hand for going first, because I did in fact open Gemini Ablation, which means I'll be able to reveal it, summon it from my hand, and then get a Gemini's Lord Gold Knight, which I'm going to pitch in order to get the Evocator Évêque. Evocator Évêque is going to bring back the Gold Knight. Gold Knight is going to normal summon itself, get the Gemini Spark. I wanted to go for something a little cute, you know. So I'm just going to Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. Gearblade is going to equip itself to the Gearfried. And then I'm going to set the Gemini Spark and pass. So it doesn't seem like much, right? But that's still 3 disruption. A monster effect negation. I contribute either of those with the Gemini Ablation to summon any Fire Warrior monster that I want from my deck, including the Great Shogun Shien, and pop a card that my opponent controls. And then I have the Gemini Spark, which I can also use at any point during my turn to pop and draw. That's pretty cool. So, my opponent's gonna set the Fleurs. Is going to be the set. They're gonna draw a card. They're gonna Sauge de Fleurs 3 and pop the Nekro, but I'm going to Immortal Phoenix Gearfried because this is the thing that you want to Immortal Phoenix Gearfried. I'm gonna get the Gearblade back because Gearblade is a really funny card. They're gonna activate the Revolution des Fleurs and summon a Nekro Synchron. And then, oh yeah, Suships. This guy is playing Suships Revolution des Fleurs. My dudes. If there's one thing that I hate, it is Suship player. Suship players are out there like, hey, this is like the new super budget deck of like 2024, right? So it's not new anymore. And they were like, oh, Suships can beat the meta. Look at this, Suships deck's best deck, very impressive and stuff. And it's like, oh. Suship players are so annoying. They only swear about their deck. If their deck beats a meta deck, their deck is the best deck ever. Strongest deck of all time. Whoa! It even managed to beat fucking Tier 0 Lyrilisk or something. If that deck loses to the meta, it's like, wow! The game is broken! I can't win with my Suship deck anymore! This format is pee-pee poo-poo! It's like nothing against the deck, but the players are just so annoying. And I hate Revolution Deflow, like, conceptually, so this doesn't really bode well for me. I'm gonna get a draw. I'll start a Charge Warrior. I'm gonna summon the Gob. I'm like, maybe I should do something, you know? So I'm just gonna pitch my Gold Knight, pop the start a Charge Warrior, summon a Great Shogun Shin. They're gonna replace the Gob with a Sorcier de Fleur. After the Sorcier de Fleur, activate Painful Decision. They didn't reach Shin. They're gonna get another Shari Red. Wow, that's cool. They're gonna set a card. They're gonna attack this. And there I'm gonna Gemini Spark, pop their back row, which turned out to be a lost win. I was afraid might be an ITP or something. It doesn't really matter. I do have the Immortal Penis gear free on my field, so that's pretty cool. Gemini Ablation, pitch Gemini Ablation for Evocator Evec. Evocator Evec is going to summon this guy. This guy is going to give him back Cal on his field. Put 4 and 4 together into an Abyss Dweller because I don't want this to float. They're going to lost win, but I don't care. I can't prevent them from getting the lost win back though, so that sucks. Catalyst Field allows me to normal summon yet another Evocator Evec. Equip the Gear Blade, and that's mega lethal if I can count correctly, which I can. Punch them in the face, pitch this, and punch them in the face again. Wow! Don't play Suships in Revolution de Fleur, what the heck? These don't work together. Just because Revolution de Fleur is a silly skill doesn't mean that you can just do this. Also, this wasn't my card rank up game. I had a pretty good win streak with this list, right? And then I played against Wind Witches, and I tried to pop a Crystal Wing with like a Gemini Spark or something, and it didn't work. I was like, oh my god, I'm the worst player in the universe. I completely forgot about like Ice Bell or something. And then I conceded out of shame. But other than that, the climb was pretty smooth. Alright, it's time for another very funny replay. This one is against Sacred Beasts. Sacred Beasts, everyone. Wow. Isn't that a deck that has access to a very fair and balanced scale? Oh, sir? No, it's not. But it is very funny to be facing this deck. I think I vaguely remember doing something really sketchy this game. What was it? So I revealed the Gold Knight, get the Ablation from deck, pitch the Gold Knight, get the Evocator Evec, brings back the Gold Knight. I think I tried to go for the same Coolio Gemini Spark as last game. Oh, so it's not actually that interesting. Never mind, I go for the Durandal, which allows me to get the Renal. The reason we're playing 2 Durandals is because we want to be able to pitch 1 in the end phase to the Emperor Charles. So, I'm gonna go for Captain Roland. Captain Roland then put Pro Charles as Pro Charles. I'm putting my monsters in defense because I'm scared of getting like destroyed by Raviel. Right? It's a really concern of mine. So I just realized that I burned myself in the stupidest way possible by setting the Gemini Spark instead of just letting the Emperor Charles effect resolve in end phase. But it's completely fine because I do have another tool for disruption in the form of that Gemini Spark, which is going to go live once I activate the Ablation. It's completely fine. See, I sent the Durandal to the grave with the Roland, which allows me to get the Great Shogun Xian, which I can pitch for the Ablation in order to get an Evec, which is going to revive the Xian. Why do I go for Xian instead of, whatchamacallit? Necrogardna? I don't know, because activate a lot of backrow. Don't ask me questions, you don't know me. Anyway, I'll activate Fallen Paradise. I didn't expect this to be the first game action, so I'm just gonna send the Xian, and then get the Evocator Evec. Evocator Evec is then going to bring back the Xian, and then I'm going to Gemini Spark pop the Fallen Paradise, because fuck this. At this point, the funniest thing in the whole world happens. My opponent activates Drawn and Lockbird. Drawn and Lockbird says, during either player's turn, if your opponent adds a card from their deck to their hand, except during the draw phase, send this card from your hand to the graveyard, and for the rest of this turn, neither player can add a card from their deck to their hands. I wasn't gonna add more cards from deck to hand. Not this turn, at least. Why would you do that? But they pitch their draw, and then their normal Dark Beckoning Beast. And they stared at the screen for a solid minute before they understood that the effect of Drawl and Lockbird applies to both players. Meaning that they can't search with the Dark Beckoning Beast, and they can't search with the other guy that searches Fallen of Paradise. They could have clicked yellow button, gotten a big monster, but I would have been able to pop it unless they had another Fallen Paradise in their hand. So yeah, here's a bit more interesting of a replay. Playing against Cyber Dragons. We're playing against Cyber Dragons, one of the decks that currently is not allowed to exist in the current metagame because Super Poly and Predator and Drosophilium Hydra exist. But if they didn't, maybe this deck would be a bit better. It's not like freeing Cyberloid Fusion does anything for the deck anyway. They're going first, I like going second. Maybe not with this hand, but I usually like going second. That's not the worst hand, what am I complaining about? I have the Nekroz for next turn, I have the Gemini's Long Gold Knight, it's pretty cool. They do have double Galaxy Soldier, right, that's also pretty cool for them. I mean, they have one Galaxy Soldier, they're gonna get the other. Which is fine, you know. A Galaxy Soldier pitching the Cyber Dragon with that with the Earth. Pretty cool. Honestly, a pretty cool turn, pretty cool combo for them. Per Nova. Nova is going to bring back a Sidra, which is also neat, and then it's going to rank up into Infinity and beyond. This big dragon. I'm going to set 2 and pass. Not the most impressive turn 1, but they do have 2 backer that I need to be concerned about. So, activate this skill, double summon and Gemini Spark. Always remember to activate the second part of the skill first, because otherwise you can't. If you activate the first part, you can activate the second part, and then activate your double summon and multi immediately. I think it's really funny. So I'm going to Gold Knight, normal summon itself, and then activate the Gemini Spark to try and pop something. They're gonna Infinity it, so that takes care of that. I'm going to pitch the Xian in order to bring back the Evec into Xian, and then Gemini Spark try to pop something else, but unfortunately it is a Book of Eclipse, which will in fact supersede the prevention from Xian from them to activate only one backer, so it's kind of an issue. Gonna get the Gear Blade with the Gear Free, equip the Gear Blade, and then I'm gonna activate Heritage of the Caddis, so I can get that for next turn. I'm just gonna attach it to the thing, but then my opponent activates a second Book of Eclipse, which is so annoying. In the end phase, I'm going to be able to get a Renard, and then draw 2 cards because of their Book of Eclipse, but I'm still looking at a CDI, which is going to be frightening, and they top deck Nachter. They top deck the single greatest card that they could have drawn in that exact scenario, which is kind of annoying. They're going to activate their scale in order to turn everything into a 5, bring out the second Nova. Nova is then going to try and bring a Cyber Dragon. And you're going to put 5 and 5 together into V-Mana, so access to a Monster Negate and an Omni. At this point, I probably have to Ablation pitch the Nekroz, which is completely fine, you know, because I mean, they can still negate it with the V-Mana, but at least I can try and protect some stuff on my field, which is kind of cool. They're going to pop the Ablation. They're going to attack into the... I think this is objectively a mistake to attack the Gear Freed with the V-Mana so that they could save their bigger monster attack for the Xian that they can destroy otherwise, in which is still a decent sized body. I'm going to try a Nekroz here, but why didn't it work? Wait. No, they activate the Oh no, they activate the V-Mana to try and prevent, to try and attack. They didn't activate V-Mana. No, they did. No, they didn't activate V-Mana. Jesus Christ, I'm so tired. They didn't activate V-Mana, so I was able to negate the V-Mana attack to the Gearfried, which is what I should have done. And which they did, but I negated it, but they didn't negate it. And then they attack with the CDI into the Gearfried, leaving the Xian, which they can't beat over. What a game! Anyway, normal summon Evocator Revec. Special summon Infernoble Knight Renard. At this point, I'm just trying to bait the CDI, but I don't notice. Wait! The CDI doesn't do anything. They don't have any materials on the CDI, so I'm just going to Ferocious Flame Swordsman. Why can't they do anything? Oh, because it only targets attack position monster. They book it with my board last turn. Very funny. Maybe not the greatest synergy. They're gonna V-Mana to prevent the Gearfried from going off. Kind of annoying. Kind of annoying. I do get the Gear Blade back though, which is really important because I'm going to be able to attach it to my great Shogun Shihan. And then I'm going to crash the Ferocious Flame Swordsman into the Nova so that I can bring back the Immortal Penis Gearfried. At this point, I have lethal, so my opponent's just going to surrender. Kind of a fun one. This is my cog rank up replay. It's not against plants, it's not against an FTK. I was so scared that it would be against the FTK because imitation still hasn't got an emergency ban. There's until March 7th. Remember, kids, March 7th is the day until when you can do some really cool imitation FTK. But this is against Nekroz. And this is, I think, my first time ever playing against this deck. So they're going to Dragonic to get Red Bear. And then Red Bear attributing 2 things to send 2 things. No, they're going to Nekroz or Unicorn first. And not that it really matters. But it's kind of a cool interaction, really. The skill allowing you to have some like decent turn 1 combo potential. I think this is a fine skill. I don't think it's busted or anything. It's fine, you know. They're gonna kaleidoscope that they're gonna be. They retrieve the kaleidoscope that they sent to the grave with the skill. I think this is like a genuinely decent skill interaction that enables the deck to reach a higher ceiling that it would have been able to otherwise, and I'm completely okay with Nekroz existing. I think the skill could receive maybe a little buff, but that's neither here nor there. They sent Nekroz to the graveyard, alright? So they went to do a selection box too. Very fun. So, that turn is just a Unicorn pass, right? I'm like, that's kind of annoying, but it's really not, because I can take care of so many things. I know the last card in hand is Nekroz of Treasurer, because I saw them had it back. Yeah, it's right there. No, they tributed the Nekroz of Treasurer. And what they returned? They returned... Oh, what's the last card? It could be another Nekroz of Treasurer, but the Nekroz of Treasurer existing means that Gemini Spark is not a reliable out to this. So instead, we're just gonna have to do the very stupid thing of, I think I kind of misplayed this game, actually. Double summon, first things first, and then skill for a Gemini Ablation. Then I normal double the Evocator Effect, which is a mistake, because that doesn't really do anything. Tribute it for the Gemini Ablation in order to pop the Nekroz of Unicorn, and then I realized, wait, I can summon Gearfried for its effect and get lethal through a, maybe it was Valkyries too, because I wanted to get lethal back here. So I'm just going to equip it with the Durandal, and then my opponent's just gonna concede. Even though, I guess I had some follow-up. It wasn't too impressive though. But, hey, that's one of the COG rank-up matches of all time, I guess. So that's the deck. This format is kind of annoying. I mean, it is super annoying. But the most annoying part of it is, if you just take care of Hero and Salamangreat in a real way, you have such a fun format, right? Like, Predator Plant's probably still a bit of a problematic deck. Even without Hydra, it's probably a deck that still does a little bit too much. But it's currently eclipsed by Hero and Salamangreat, which are so obscene that you'd be a fool to literally play anything else. And yet, there are so many cool decks that play mostly fair Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not gonna pretend like Phoenix Rising is not a bonkers skill, because it really is, but it's still, the deck still plays mostly fair Yu-Gi-Oh! And there's so many others, Tri-Brigade, Dragon Maids, Battling Boxers, right? That are just waiting for a chance to be playable and top tier in a format where the top 2 decks aren't completely ridiculous. Anyway, that'll be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Hopefully the next format isn't nearly as bad as this. If you like my content, despite me complaining about the game at the moment, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you'd like to support me further in order to help me buy cool stuff when I go to London in April, make sure to support me on my Ko-fi page, where you can make a one-time donation or a monthly pledge. I would also like to thank my donators in the form of Dingus, Boy0, Jimmy, Zinnia, Yannick, Seal, Mark Lu, Fortunello16, the Abisacta Guru, All Price, and Nexusis, and that is the fastest that I can name them all, I think. That'll be it for today's video. Thank you all for watching once again. Let us hope that the next formats aren't going to be nearly as bad as this one. Make sure to complain a lot to Konami until they fix their shit, which is why we should always complain to Konami. Take care, everyone, and I will see you all next time.